Hello and thanks for joining us for this KEYC News Now to Go update. I'm Jackson Jurek, and in a few minutes I'll be joined by First Alert meteorologist Caitlin Lohr with a look at today's forecast and a very busy weekend forecast coming up. We'll start with some state news. Governor Tim Walz visited a local elementary school in Fridley to highlight the impact that potential cuts to the Department of Education could have on schools in Minnesota and across the nation. His biggest concern with shutting down the DOE is that it could impact grant programs. Much of the funding that goes to things like special education and education in low-income communities is tied up in DOE grants. Part of Trump's proposed plan is to move those grants to other agencies and remove restrictions from them, allowing states to decide what to do with the money. Walz says that could be a problem for underserved communities.
I have no faith that states that have moved away from this, that are giving vouchers and not doing anything, cutting services to public schools, will continue on. And for me, that weakens our nation.
Some state Republicans argue that the states ought to be able to decide for themselves. In larger news, in retaliation to Trump's tariffs, Canada announced its own tariffs on goods. Our Minnesota and Wisconsin lawmakers are reacting. Northern News Now, Ryan Hayes breaks down how they think this trade war will impact their states.
President Trump recently ramped up the intensity on tariffs Tuesday, saying Canada should become our 51st state. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is responding.
The problem is with the tariffs is that once they are threatened, a lot of times people will go elsewhere for their products.
She does not believe Trump's tariffs are about fentanyl, as he's claimed in the past.
The president has wanted to do things on tariffs for a long time, regardless of fentanyl.
Duluth Area Chamber of Commerce President Matt Baumgartner says confusion over the why makes tariffs a hard thing for businesses to respond to.
And not knowing what is the end game and why did we start this in the first place? Was it drug related? Is it economically related? Is it balance of trade related? And then how do we forecast and plan for that?
Republican Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson supports the tariffs, saying they're an effective way to get fair treatment from foreign governments.
We're not treated fairly around the world. President Trump is absolutely correct about that. So I don't have a problem with him using tariffs to obtain reciprocal treatment.
He acknowledged retaliatory tariffs could hurt two key Wisconsin industries in the short term.
All I can really do is express to the president my concern, convey to him the manufacturers, the farmers in Wisconsin that may be harmed by retaliation, and hopefully there's things he can do to alleviate that.
Northland politicians making sense of a new era in U.S.-Canada relations. In Duluth, Ryan Hayes, Northern News Now.
In addition to these tariffs, the Trump administration is set to impose reciprocal tariffs on all foreign imports, also starting on April 2nd. House Republicans in St. Paul announced a bill that could change how local law enforcement interacts with immigration police. Under the bill, any undocumented immigrant arrested on suspicion of a violent crime is to be reported to ICE or federal immigration officials. The second part of that bill prevents any state or local government entities from actively prohibiting, restricting, or interfering with federal immigration enforcement authorities in their work.
It prevents violent offenders who should not be here from harming our communities, and in many cases these communities are low-income communities, communities with other legal immigrants.
Critics argue that professional organizations such as the Minnesota Sheriff's Association are opposed to the bill.
They're trying to use our law enforcement to get involved in civil cases when our law enforcement are already stretched so thin, needing to respond to the emergencies in our community.
Reimer says this is a narrowly focused bill aiming to help the federal government's work with illegal immigration. In a rescue mission on Madison Lake, one man was pulled from the freezing water. Another man was on the ice. Area ice conditions are not safe right now. Aaron Stubbe talks to the deputy who made the save.
When you get that call someone's in the ice, it's just a matter of time before you lose strength just to hang on.
At around 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, the Blue Earth County Sheriff's Office and Madison Lake Fire Department responded to a man fallen through the ice on Madison Lake and another still on the ice nearby. The lake is currently a sort of no man's land for rescues. The ice is too thin to send much equipment out to, but the lake has too much ice for a boat. And for an ice rescue, time is a valuable resource. In this case, help happened to be close by.
We were lucky enough that one of the Blue Earth County deputies lives on the lake, witnessed it, and with the preparations that Blue Earth County has done to outfit all of their squads with cold water rescue suits, he was able to get out there and actually provide aid right away.
I immediately jumped into, I observed that there was a lot of panic in the individuals that was in the water.
Lieutenant Mitchell Galler rushed to the scene.
I got inside the water, and I had my rescue suit on, so I knew that we would float, so I grabbed onto him so he wouldn't not submerge any further or go underneath the water.
Then, waiting for backup to arrive.
It appeared like hours, but within a couple minutes there was extra support. More rescuers arrived on scene and were able to help facilitate on getting the victim out of the water.
Sheriff's Office squad cars are all equipped with water rescue suits, a tool that the office says is crucial as the warm water makes lakes increasingly dangerous. But even with all that gear, they stress that safety starts with you.
Right now, I would suggest nobody go on the ice. It's not safe. It's not good ice. I don't know if we have any lakes in our county that have great ice on them right now.
In Madison Lake, I'm Aaron Stuvey.
A heartwarming story there for the man that was saved, Caitlin, and that ice not going to get any safer today or tomorrow, and probably won't be safe the rest of the spring season with the warm weather that we're projected to have.
Yeah, I know a lot of misconception comes with, oh, it still gets, near freezing or below freezing overnight, so some of that refreezes, but it's not enough to stay safe. And with the warm temperatures that we get in the daytime along with that sunshine, those two don't mix very well with ice in general. So it is best just to take that advice and stay off the ice, because then you can stay safe and keep those officials safe as well. Now, speaking of safety, we do have to talk about some severe weather threats on the way, but not today. At least we get to enjoy another beautiful day today. We're looking at a high of about 69 degrees here in Mankato, though honestly, with the sunshine, I wouldn't be surprised if we kissed that 70-degree mark this afternoon. I know some of us in southern Minnesota and even northern Iowa will kiss that 70-degree mark later this afternoon. So all around a great day, a little bit of a breeze by this afternoon. Get outside and enjoy it. Open up your windows, let that fresh air in. Unlike the last few nights, if you forget to close up, you're not going to freeze overnight or get that chill into your house, because it's going to stay mild with a low of 52 degrees by tomorrow morning and a breeze overnight. So now, after today, let's talk about what we've got unfolding for the next 36 to 48 hours with that weakened storm system. We're starting to be able to pinpoint more things, and you're going to notice some more clarification going forward, starting with right here, right now. We're looking at those strong to severe storm chances for tomorrow evening into the late night hours, and then rain overnight that will transition into Saturday at some point. Now, how much snow could we see? Well, how much, if any, is really the question. A lot of that will depend on when that rain actually transitions to snow, which is a big thing that we dealt with last week's blizzard as well. The biggest difference from last week to this week is we're not looking at nearly as much snow that we saw anywhere in the area that we saw last week. However, any amount of snow, whether it's a dusting 2 inches or closer to 3 inches, is not a good thing to mix with 40 to 50 mile an hour winds and wind gusts. So anywhere across the area, dusting up to 3 inches is what we're looking at, but you could have a flurry with these strong winds and still lead to blizzard-like conditions, even if you're not looking at a lot of snow in general. These are the impacts and the hazards we're looking at, but the first set of hazards will be that threat of severe weather. We are in a level 1 and 2, or the green and the yellow here you see on your screen, risk for strong to severe storms. For us, we're mostly concerned about damaging winds and large hail possible, but cannot rule out the chance of a tornado developing, because overall this system does have tornado chances to the southeast of us, near the Quad Cities and south of there. So the tornado threat for us here at home is very, very, very minimal, but cannot fully be ruled out. So looking at that, we're looking at tomorrow. We'll start off with a little bit of morning sunshine before those showers start to develop anytime after 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then anytime from 7 o'clock later is when we could see that line of showers and thunderstorms roll through the area going into the late night hours. That'll leave behind a half an inch of rain up to almost 1.5 inches across the area before we make that transition to snow, leaving us most of the area a dusting up to 1 inch, which is what we like to see. But again, you can have a flurry and still have those blizzard-like conditions, which will put us in first alert mode for Friday and Saturday. But after that, we're looking at generally quiet conditions for the rest of next week.
Well, Caitlin, I hate to be the thank goodness I'm going to Phoenix person this weekend, but I'm going to Phoenix this weekend, and I'm going to enjoy some sunshine down there.
Bring that sunshine back with you.
I will. I think Sunday and Monday for sure looks
Oh,
wonderful,
yeah.
and I can't wait to fly back in on St. Patrick's Day, so I'm excited for that.
It'll be a good weekend once everything settles down.
It'll be a great weekend. Well, thank you very much, Caitlin. We're going to transition into some sports now. The #1 ranked Mankato East boys basketball team is looking to head back to the state tournament with a matchup against Marshall to decide the Section 2-3A champion. It's a cat fight, Cougars against the Tigers. First half, East Lucas Gustafson takes it all the way to the rack. Marshall keeps it close. Oliver Voigt makes it a 2-point game with 5 minutes left in the half. Cougars answer. Amari Nobles knocks down the corner three. Trading shots is the theme of the opening half. Bang, just like that. Marshall responds. Cooper Mensink with the quick release in transition for the NBA three. Tigers trailing 26-24, under 3 to go in the first. Here comes East. The future Sioux Falls Cougar, Rogan Madsen gets the hoop and the horn. Senior completes the three-point play at the line. Tigers do keep it close. Jaden Meister wide open for the easy bucket in the paint. Cougars close out the half strong. Nobles with an off-balance three ahead of the buzzer. Count it. 35-26 Cougars advantage going into the break. In the second half, East runs away with it. Gustafson shows off the handles and carves up the defense as he takes it all the way to the hoop. The top-ranked Cougars defend their section title with a 75-48 victory. Cougars fresh off that runner-up finish at the state tournament a year ago. The team will try to finish the job this season and hoist the Class 3A title. Exciting stuff there. Caitlin from the Mankato East Cougars. Good luck to them as they go on their quest for a state champion. Thank you very much, Caitlin. And great weather coming up tomorrow. We'll ignore the weekend. We won't be here for that. Thanks for watching this KEYC News Now. To go update, stay with KEYC News Now for the latest local news, weather, and sports on our website.
And you can stay up to date by downloading the free KEYC News and Weather apps for the latest headlines and forecast.